Baseball Bits and Banter. For those that are watching on YouTube, you're going to notice a disconnect between the outfits. I'm recording this the day after I interviewed the gentleman from Bobblehead, George. So today is a Sunday football day, so I'm not very put together. So this is me IRL, if you prefer. But this episode's really fun, and I'm glad we recorded it a week and a half before the election because it's history. They have a president thing, all sorts of cool stuff. But as I said in the video, the Bobblehead George gentlemen are YouTube, I'm going to call them stars because they're stars to me, middle school teachers who created these great digestible history videos, presidential videos, and do great work with their students and also for people across the country and apparently Australia. It's David, Eric, and David's son, who's their videographer, Alex. One gentleman couldn't make it because he was like doing family thing, whatever. But they were super fun, and I'm so glad I met them down in Mechanicsburg when I was down there for the Mystery Book Fest, Mystery Bookshop Fall Festival. I don't remember what the name of it was, but with the Mystery Bookshop, and we did a segment. Well, they did a segment on Good Day PA, and I did a segment. So we were in the green room for about an hour and a half just chilling and chatting. So I'm really glad I got to meet them and learn more about them. And on November 14th, they're going to be holding a fundraiser. They are a nonprofit, so they do this for the love of the game, if you will. So November 14th, if you're in southeastern Pennsylvania or south central Pennsylvania, go to their website, order tickets. They're having a silent auction. It's the anniversary of the Marquis de Lafayette, so they're going to have a Lafayette scholar, I guess, do a speech, and they're also going to be doing authentic food from the era. So if you're into history, I highly recommend that. I donated some books and some swag for their silent auction, which was really exciting. So yeah, definitely get onto their website. I'll post it in the description below so you can check it out. But before we get to the interview, as always, it's things I'm obsessed with this week. One thing I'm obsessed with is, I don't know if you people, sorry, that sounded rude. If anybody's watched the CNN show, Have I Got News for You? It's Roy Wood Jr., Amber Ruffin, and Michael Ian Black, and a rotating list of guests. And it's kind of, it's like an irreverent, it's like the Daily Show on steroids. Like basically they do fun games with the news of the day, which, as we all know, has been cuckoo banana pants. So also it's very similar to the show Mock the Week if you're British. I've been watching it on BritBox, so it's very similar to that. And it's kind of a digestible way to watch the news and also to not feel like everything is spiraling out of control, because at least you get to laugh a little. So check that out if you're into news-based comedy. I also want to shout out the Abington Craft Fair, which I took part in again yesterday. Gail, who makes recycled mittens, was my neighbor behind me, and she was awesome. And then my neighbors, Nancy and Jean, who I've been with every time I've signed up for that craft fair, and they're the best. I've bought a lot of stuff from Jean. My Celtics koozie, my Bruins change purse, and some other stuff as well. So shout out to them. I've met so many great people. I resaw Mallory's mom, whose name is in the next book. So that was really, really fun. Also want to shout out the Whitman Mothers Club. I did an event there Monday. This feels so long ago, but it was just Monday. There's like 30, 40 people with Julie Bennett Hutchins, who is a pretty scary author, who I'm trying to get on the podcast, but she's got like a life and stuff, so it's hard. But they are a group, and I was trying to explain this to my dad, or to somebody, and I said it's like the Key Club from high school, and nobody knew what I was talking about. So I don't know if you guys know about the Key Club, but in high school I was in Key Club, and it was kind of like a service organization where we did where we helped assist at fundraisers and did our own fundraisers. And so it's similar to that, and they do stuff for the community, and they raise money for community projects in Whitman and the surrounds. So shout out to Daphne for inviting me and Julie. It was probably the best on a Monday night, on a school night. I was out late, so it was really fun. So I checked them out. Not a lot else is I'm obsessed with because it's kind of been a crazy work week, a crazy. I was sick a little bit, with a cold, and so still trying to recover from that, but we're working through it. I'm also in the process. If you're on YouTube, you'll see making mini books. These are my own mini books ornaments. I'm not good at crafting, but I'm trying. So today I'm making a cozy mystery one, and I think I'm going to do some special ones for some events that I have coming up. Because at the craft fair, somebody's like, "Oh, these are cute. How much?" And I said, "Oh, I'm not selling them. They're just kind of for display." And she's like, "Oh, my daughter would love one." And so I'm like, $5. So you might see these on the website to purchase. The next bunch is going to have some glitter in it, so it'll be a little foofier. But if you have a favorite set of books that you want to make me to make mini book ornaments of, today's is going to be a little bit better than this version because now I know what I'm doing, sort of. But look on my website and reach out to me. But without further ado, the 2 out of 3 plus the videographer of Bobblehead George. All right, welcome back to Baseball Books and Banter. I figured out how to use a timer on my Zoom, so now I won't be as helter-skelter towards the end. So, stand by, guys. This one's kind of an exciting one for me. Was it last year? It was last year, right? 23 or 22? 23.
August 23.
Okay, August 23. I met a majority of these gentlemen at Good Day, PA in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, which for those that know, if you know, you know, I went to Cumberland Valley High School in Mechanicsburg. So anytime I can get to Mechanicsburg, I get very excited. And I've worked with Amy before. So these gentlemen, 2 are Bobblehead George, 1 is videographer Bobblehead George for clarity's sake. But we have David, Eric, Alex, and I will let you guys tell the people who you are and what you do.
All right, my name is David Raymond, and I am a American history teacher. I've been doing this for 30 years, and a couple years ago, with my son and with Eric and another gentleman, we created Bobblehead George, and I'll let them introduce themselves, and maybe we'll tell you what we do.
I'm Eric Gimby. I'm also a histoy teacher, but I've only been doing it for 6 years, so not quite as long as Dave. But Dave was my history.
He just called you old without calling you old.
Hey, I was his teacher. Actually, I taught both these guys in class.
That's
Yeah, he was my teacher, my teacher too.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Eric, are you done?
You got it, Alex. Go ahead.
All right, sweet. I'm Alex. I am not a history teacher,
Oh, bummer.
but I am the videographer for Bobblehead George. I got into videography in high school, and now I have my own wedding videography business, and I shoot videos for Bobblehead George.
And
So-
I will mention Michael's not here with us today. He's the third on camera Bobblehead George, not a history teacher, a science teacher, which is kind
Science
of fun.
teacher. He is camping with his family.
Oh my God, you guys are so Pennsylvania. Camping. No, it's a beautiful weekend for it. I don't know how it is down there, but up here it's gorgeous. So
Yeah, it is here too.
that's understandable. So anyway, Bobblehead George, tell me all about it, as if I didn't know all the videos.
Well, what we do is we know as public educators that across the nation there's probably tens of thousands of students who, because of lack of funding, because of geography, don't get an opportunity to go on field trips or at least see really cool things that we get to see here where we live in South Central Pennsylvania in such a close radius. And so what we do is we travel to historical sites. We work collaboratively with them, places like George Washington's Mount Vernon, James Madison's Montpelier, Andrew Jackson locally the York History Center, Lancaster History, to create video experiences, virtual field trips for kids, and they're free on our website. And we're a nonprofit, so that's how we are able to do what we do. But it's really cool, and we get to go really cool places. It started during the pandemic when we couldn't take our own classes to Gettysburg, and we decided we would go and make a little video. And Alex, who was a videography student at Kutztown at the time, said, "Well, I'll come." He was home from the pandemic also, and he came with us, and that video turned out pretty cool. And then the rest is history from there. And yeah, that's how it was born.
No pun intended. The rest is
Yeah,
history. No pun
Yeah.
intended.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love a good. Well, I did see on the website everybody loves a good pun. So anytime I can get a pun in there. By the way, if you hear birds chirping, it's because I have a clock that every hour on the hour does bird calls. So that's the Pennsylvania in May. It's just northeast birds. So I hear them now and I'm like, is there a bird in the house? No. And I love this idea because, especially because our country is so big and vast and there's so much out there to do, making it accessible for everybody, I think is amazing. And I know I lived in DC for 6 years, and Mount Vernon was one of my all-time favorite places to go. A, because it's beautiful, B, the history. And I just know that if I lived in California, I might not have that opportunity to kind of connect with the history of our country. Do you find that a lot of people from out of state kind of click on your videos, or is it more locally kind of growing?
Yeah, locally, we obviously like that's kind of where our strongest base is, but we have people watching our videos in all 50 states
That's
and
awesome.
then two in other countries. So that's pretty cool too. Like people in Australia will leave comments and things like that.
That's
So yeah,
awesome.
it's pretty cool for us.
I love
That's
that.
neat. Yeah, and then like literally, I kind of get addicted to it. Like while I was waiting for you to turn on the Zoom meeting, I was looking at our video and our website analytics to see where our website was being looked at. So yeah, it's neat to know that like wow, we're big in Georgia right now for some reason.
Oh,
The two states that we're getting we've got a lot of traffic right now are Georgia and Mississippi. So that's kind of
oh.
cool.
I
Yeah.
wonder.
I think what it
I'm gonna
is that
think about that.
we also because it's free and it's available for teachers.
Mm.
I think it's a lot of teachers using it in classroom with kids. So that's kind of neat.
Yeah, I think that's great. It's providing not only accessibility to the kids, but to the educators who also maybe not able to afford, a master class from who's the historic McCullough or whatever, but they can do, especially because I think your videos are also in manageable pieces. They're not 2 hours long, 3 hours
No,
long. Like you do it in a way that in this day and age, as a writer, I understand this as well, you keep people's attention. Because especially as middle school teachers, I'm sure like they got no attention. What is it, Gen Alpha? I don't know, whatever.
I'm Gen X, so I just don't care.
And I'm a geriatric millennial, so I also am just like, whatever. As long as I have my stuff, I'm good. Like I don't need anything else. But
And we're on all the social media too, so
yeah,
that's neat. I mean, Eric takes care of the TikTok because I don't want any part of it. But then we do it with Facebook, Instagram, and a minor presence on Threads. But
oh
yeah, we keep it digestible for the students.
yeah, and for adults as well. I think sometimes adults also have a little bit of the lack of attention span. Um, what? Okay, this is going to be a completely random question. What was each of your favorites videos so far?
Hmm.
I know as history teachers, you're probably like, I love it
Well,
all.
I know Eric's answer, so I'm gonna let Eric go first.
Yeah,
I got
well, like for two, what's been cool is like just how it's grown. So like when we were doing stuff locally, we're like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. They're letting us in all this stuff. And then like just to see that ramp up. And then we went to George Washington's Mount Vernon for the first time. And prior to that, we were paying for tours. And then not long after that, we're walking around a place without shoes on. Then we have a
Like,
tour of the
it's my
place.
house now.
Yeah. But for me, my favorite was Andrew Jackson's Hermitage. So I'm a big music person. So that was my first time in Tennessee. And I may have developed a problem of going down to Nashville after that.
Oh
So
no.
yeah, but that was pretty cool too, because that was our first like far trip out
Hmm.
of Pennsylvania. And when we arrived, the city of Nashville was great to us. It gave us like gift baskets bags when we
That's
arrived. Yeah. So that
awesome.
was kind of like, oh man, this is really getting real for us.
Yeah, I bet. Oh my God. And I've never been to Nashville, but yeah, if you're a music person, I think, yeah, you probably walked in, you're just like, look at all
Yes.
the guitars.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
Specifically the guitars. Yes.
I get that. Yep, yep. David, how about you?
all right. So right off the bat, the how real it became when we were invited to Mount Vernon.
Hmm.
That was oh my gosh, we were going. That was a big jump. It went from York History Center to George Washington's Mount Vernon.
Right.
And so we went in with a plan, um, and just it was real, and it was like, oh wow, we're actually doing this.
We can do
I
this.
think if you want me to ask my favorite video that we have, it's not one of the most watched ones, but it's called "The Evolution of James Madison's Montpelier."
Hmm.
Because it talks because these houses weren't built like all these houses, whether it's Mount George Washington's or James Madison's, they weren't built all at once. They were built in stages over decades. And so we did this video where, and Alex could talk about it more, but it flows because it's almost like it was shot as if it was one shot where the camera moves from one person to another, and then we tell the story of the evolution of the house. And I just think, to me, visually, that's my favorite video.
Alex, was that one of your favorites to do, or do you have another favorite?
Yeah, that was definitely fun to shoot just because, wanted to try and switch it up and just do something a little different and like try and make it look like one shot like he was saying and have different camera movements. But I think I'd have to say that the first time going to Mount Vernon would probably be my favorite because like my dad was saying, like that was the first like big one that we did. Like we went in there, made, first president of the United States, and they're letting us walk through his house that nobody else has access to. And we went in with a plan, and we were there late too. How late were we there?
Oh, yeah, we couldn't start till 5. It was early
Yeah, that's
evening,
right.
so it started getting dark around 6 or 7, and we left there probably 10 o'clock at night.
Were there ghosts? The
Not that I
important
saw.
question.
Not
No,
that I.
but I will say it was like I don't know, there's just like a feeling
Presence,
when you
kind
were
of.
in his room, like next to the bed that he died on. It was weird being in there. Like
Yeah,
especially since nobody else like that's normally
blocked
completely
off.
blocked off.
Yeah.
Completely
Oh yeah.
blocked off.
Oh
And they just let us in there with our I mean, obviously we had to be careful. Uh,
Don't break the 18th or the 17th century furniture, please.
yeah. Yeah, but it was super cool just to go through that place.
yeah.
Um,
I think the follow up on that, like the idea that I don't know if I can ever do another paid tour ever.
yeah.
I mean, like if you go to the Hermitage, the rooms that we filmed in are blocked off. There's plexiglass there. You don't get to actually walk through those rooms. You get to peer into those rooms from the hallway, right? Or at least that's the way it was when we were there. Maybe that was a pandemic era thing. I don't know. I don't want to say that and have the Hermitage be like, hey,
Yeah. Hey, we
um,
let you in our
but
rooms. Yeah.
but I also know that like I've taken plenty of tours of Mount Vernon. You don't get to go into his bedroom. That is
No.
a room to peer into. You don't
Yeah.
look in. You don't get to go stand in it. So the fact that like we're literally in that room, standing in there, and that's
Crazy.
or like in his study, Eric, right where all of his man cave stuff is. That's another room where you're behind a rope and you don't get to go and meander around. And there we are meandering around in there. So it just all became so real, and I don't know if I can ever pay for another paid tour ever
Yeah,
again.
right. You're like, no, no, I'm sorry. Can I have the back room tour? You're like the Disney
Yeah.
secrets people. You're like, get under the covers and stuff. Like, I lived in DC for 6 years. I lived in Alexandria, so Mount Vernon was the best. And you don't have to pay for the tour. You see the house once, you're like, cool, great, chairs and beds, awesome. But you can just walk on the grounds. And
Yeah.
we used to take our dog and walk him around Mount Vernon grounds, which when you think of like now thinking back on it, I'm like, holy crap, our dog walked on the same ground that George Washington walked on. Like, so weird. But yeah, I'm intrigued. I just it's such a great place, and it's accessible because it doesn't feel like you're stuck on a path, you're stuck on a, in a certain way. So Mount Vernon, highly recommend to everybody. um,
It's an all day thing. It's not just a house tour, as you
right,
said.
right.
Yeah.
We also love to look at the sheep because he was a herding dog. So we're like, oh, Fenway, look. His name was Fenway, obviously. Not to get my Boston up, but yeah, Fenway, look, it's your homeland. Go herd the sheep. But he never did because he's like, I'm a city dog. Forget that. Um, I was gonna add, oh crap, that just flew out of my head. It was Mount Vernon. Oh, I think recently Jill Biden at the White House did that with some of the rooms that were formerly closed. She opened them up to the
I
public. Like,
heard.
yeah, you can't touch everything, but you can at least be in the, not to quote Hamilton, but be in the room where it happens,
Yep.
And
I heard that on the news yesterday.
yeah, I watched it on the news too. So I was like, oh, cool. I think it was on 60 Minutes or because I'm an old CBS Sunday mornings. And she made it interactive, and I think that's what you guys too is you make it an interactive experience. It feels like you're in the time, in the place. It's very immersive, which I think as a student I would have appreciated, because I think looking back on my student life now, I didn't really care. About the big stuff, and you're like, cool, great, awesome. But when you can actually tangibly see it, um, have some history stories attached to it, so it's not just dry history. I think that's important, and I think more kids need it. So you guys, I think you're awesome. So even though I don't have kids, but I watch the videos. I learn things, you know?
We're excited about our next one. I gotta tell you, like I don't know when it, but it's this, and it's all up to Alex because it's based on Alex's schedule. But like our next video is so far out of our wheelhouse.
Mm.
We filmed in the AACA museum in Hershey. It's the Antique Auto
Ooh.
Museum, and that was so I was so nervous. You sent me to Mount Vernon, and I'm like, we'll just talk all day. And I'm in there with all these cars, and there's like all these different engines, and there's all. I'm like, oh my god, what is
Right.
this stuff, right? And our other guy, Mike, is a motorhead, right? So he
Okay.
was in his element. But like, I don't know about you, Eric, but I was just like, I mean, I had to do like very rarely do we like
Notes.
memorize lines, but I was like, I gotta get this right.
I need a
But
script.
that turned out to be such a fun experience filming in that museum, and I'm kind of a little curious to see how that one turns out because and how it's received because that one is so far removed from what we typically do.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah, and I mean that's a place too. Like even if you're not in the cars, there's just so much stuff there to check out. And that's kind of what you're talking about, Mount Vernon. There's so much stuff there. And I hope like when people watch our videos, they see some of these properties and it really opens their eyes to how much stuff is there. Because whether it's
Right.
Mount Vernon or the Hermitage or Montpelier, it's not just a house. It's a
Right.
huge grounds. There's so much stuff to see that even if you're not, a big history person, just the sight of everything
Right.
is amazing.
I think I counted. We made 14 videos at Mount Vernon,
And you
and we
could
still
probably,
and we're gonna go back this year and make another one.
I was just gonna say you could probably make so many more. Um, Gettysburg, how do you feel? What are your experiences of Gettysburg kind of historical stuff? Because I know growing up in Mechanicsburg, it was kind of the big, like you said, the field trip was to Gettysburg.
Yeah. So our field trip to Gettysburg might be unique from the standpoint of, well, first of all, it's our curriculum. So,
Mm.
it is what
Good
Eric
thing it
about.
didn't
So,
change in 25 years.
yeah, so well, yeah. So we teach by the time we get to March, April, we're teaching Gettysburg. So when we go there first week of May, it's fresh in their mind. Um, we long ago because, and again, this is one of the reasons why we do what we do, because of funding.
Mm.
It is insanely expensive to take. What is there, Eric? There's what 600 eighth graders maybe.
Oof.
No, maybe not that many. No,
But a lot.
no,
It's
no.
like
There's about 350 eighth graders split between three
Yeah.
different teachers. There's a third history teacher in our middle school, and it costs us almost $10,000 to take those students 30 miles to Gettysburg and
Right.
back. And we don't pay for tour guides because
No, I
Eric and I give the tour
was gonna say, yeah.
because it just is. Why would we have other people talk to our kids when we can talk to our kids?
Right. And they already
And,
know how you educate, so they're used to your
and
style and you know
yeah,
how to get through to them.
yeah, and we also don't go into the museum
Mm.
because that's another expense that
Right.
our district can't afford. And so transportation is so incredibly expensive just to do something like that. So when we go, we actually um we give the tours. And so it's kind of a unique experience to
Yeah.
do that. Yeah.
That's really cool. I would take that tour. Just
Oh,
in
you
case. Anytime I come down,
anytime.
I'll just call. I'm like,
well,
hey,
Sure.
I'm in
Just
New
call.
Jersey.
Okay. Well,
Gettysburg has changed too,
Yeah.
actually from all the construction they've been doing there.
Okay.
And actually, like when we go and we film at a place like Gettysburg, like there's so many good guys that go in and explain everything. Like one person we work with is Gary Edelman, and he knows like literally everything about anything, even remotely related to the
Right.
Civil War. But like when we present a lot of those videos, a lot of times it's from the eyes of, all right, if I was an eighth grader here, what would
Right.
I, you know?
Yeah, I think that's important because again, it shows that you're kind of more education focused to the age that you
yeah.
think that should be watching these videos, like in a school, and you're not, you're doing it for school kids so that they can learn. And then some adults who just happen to find you, or kids go home and say, Mom, Dad, I learned something from these three dudes today, and watch this video because again, it's like 15 minutes out of your day, and you kind of share that. Maybe I'm the only dork who did that with my parents. Be like, I learned something really cool today, guys. Let me show you. Magic. No, a little different with writing. It was a lot of angsty poetry. You can't show that to the parents. They would get worried. I don't know if people caught it while we were talking, but Alex is the son of Mr. David.
Yes.
So I didn't want to completely forget about that and gloss it over because people would be like, why didn't they mention that? And so did the idea for Bobblehead George come from just being in the pandemic, like you said, with the thing? And did you bring Alex in, or were you like, hey, Alex, you're studying film and we love you and you're my son and you're bored. Come film our videos for us.
All right. So the name Bobblehead George has actually been around for a while. That was the name I gave when I back in like 2013, 2014, whenever I was I created a Facebook page for my class, but I wanted my name nothing associated. So I had a bobblehead of George Washington on my desk. I took a picture of it, and that just became Bobblehead George. So the name has been
And
around for a while. So whenever
and
we
you
create,
morphed and you
huh?
morphed your face
I
and
know it's
yeah.
it was creepy. It was creepy. So anyway, yeah, I forgot about that.
We're like,
Uh,
mistake.
yeah, so and then whenever we started doing this, that's just what we call the YouTube channel. And so when we created it, turned it into a nonprofit, that's just what we stuck with. The logo, and it's funny, we got to give Alex credit for so much stuff because not only would we not be where we are without Alex's talent, because he really does make the videos. I mean,
They're
we would,
amazing.
yeah, they are amazing. I mean, if anybody's ever watched them, I mean, just
They're
yeah,
professional.
yeah. There was one video where our kids that we did at Jackson's Hermitage. The kids are like, "That's a green screen."
Oh,
I mean, the lighting in it is so amazing that it's like, yeah, it's just.
is that the
But
biggest
anyway,
compliment for a videographer? Like an outside
yeah,
videographer to be like, it looks fake.
yeah, the
Yeah,
kids are like, "That's fake."
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
I thought the same thing like as I was shooting it. I was like, guys, you got to come look at this shot.
Guys, this looks fake.
Yeah.
You're like, if we
and
can't
then
afford to take our kids to Gettysburg, we're not affording special effects, like visual effects, guys. We are definitely on location.
so even our super cool logo that's on our shirt,
Yeah.
or on Eric's hat, like that was Alex's idea. I mean, I don't know, I can't remember the name of the company that we bought we paid to have somebody kind of create it and animate it for us. And I in my head just had the picture of my bobblehead on my desk, and when they sent it to me at first, I was like, it's just kind of not what I was. But then it just really captures what we do, and so and we also learned a long time ago to trust Alex. Like when he tells us to do something, we do it. Like we're like, well, I don't want to,
Trust me.
like he says, no, I want you to kind of move into it and kneel down as you're talking. And we're like, really? But then we look at the video, it was seamless and perfect.
I feel
And
like you guys do the words and he does the visual.
yeah, he's
Right.
got the artistic eye for it, and
Yeah.
that's 100% him.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
once I started doing like more and more videos, it got to a point where I was like, all right, if we're gonna keep doing this, um, like you guys have to have a plan for
Mhm.
me, basically. Because early on, it was just like show up to wherever we're going and then think of
Oh,
what we're gonna say on the spot. And then there was a lot of changing, like, oh, maybe I'll say this or we'll add this in,
and that just
and
time,
we'll like
time.
I'll walk from this location to this location as I'm saying this, and I was like, wait, guys, like this is too much for me. Like I don't
Yeah.
know how I'm gonna put this together. And so, like I mentioned before, George Washington's Mount Vernon was like the first big one we did, and I was like, all right, you guys have to have scripts ready.
Yeah.
We need to have a plan of like the route that we're gonna take through the house to be as efficient as
Mhm.
possible. Um, so yeah.
Yeah, and I viewed that one as kind of like our one shot. Like if
Yeah.
we screwed that up, then nobody was ever gonna let us in.
Well, yeah. Why would they invite you back?
Yeah. And I just remember going, okay, I've been on that tour enough. How do
Yeah.
I get through this house in a fashion that flows?
Yeah.
And we were like, okay, so like here's what each of us are doing in these rooms while one person's filming, the other people are making sure to know what they're saying. They're in the background, they're maybe moving equipment, whatever we have to do. We really tried to make sure that that flowed so that we weren't there and embarrassing ourselves and then never get invited back someplace ever
Right.
again.
Do
Yeah,
you
so
ever?
we
I was gonna say, Alex, do you ever find it hard directing your father?
no.
Okay.
Well,
I mean,
except he's got to put sunglasses on the camera because I'm not good at looking at the camera. I'm good at talking to the people around the camera.
That's
yeah,
funny.
it's a weird thing where he'll look at me instead of the camera, like I'll
I
as he's
mean,
talking, I'm like, have you been looking at the camera or
As you're saying that, I mean, I'm staring at you guys and not at the camera. So yeah, I'm with you.
Right.
It's the elder millennial Gen X time frame. We're just not used to it.
Oh, I don't know. To give you an idea of Alex's talent, like, have you seen the periodic presidents videos that we do?
Not yet. I haven't watched them. No,
Okay, watch those. They we're sitting at they're look at
just straight.
after I once you watch them, then understand that those are filmed in my garage.
Oh,
Okay, so that is nothing but a card table and a white screen behind us.
I love that.
But
And
then watch those. Yeah,
Alex was being nice to us too because we were absolutely atrocious at filming before he
Yes.
trained us
Sure.
how to be on camera. Like a short 5-minute video would take hours.
Oh my God.
Before he taught us how to act, how to prepare for everything too. So even just like the efficiency is the credit.
I mean, you were joking earlier about how, Eric, you're in charge of the TikToks, but for me, one TikTok for 9 seconds probably took me about an hour to edit or get the words right or make the screen look pretty. Like, I'm like, I don't understand how the youth can do it, because it looks hard.
Oh, yeah, posting stuff on social media takes so unnecessarily long. Like just thinking, the thing that annoys me the most is just thinking of a caption. Like,
well, that too. Yeah, that's the other part.
Long. Yeah, it just takes so long on a caption.
Do I need to put hashtags? Like, am I supposed to be hashtagging everything? Like, what is this? And now that's the big way to promote yourself is hashtags and TikTok. I mean, I have a lot of author friends who are of an advanced age, in a good way. They're not old; they're just older than me, and they're like, I can't do Instagram, TikTok, Threads, Twitter, or X if you prefer, and it's just a lot. And so I find that that's the hard part of promotion. And do you find, how are you guys at that? Like you said, you're on everything, and I guess video is a little bit easier because you can just share it across all media. But like you said, Alex, thinking of the caption, thinking of how to put it so that your thumbnail is on the front of YouTube or whatever. Look at that. That sounded very old. On the front screen of YouTube, you can put a thumbnail. No, but you know what I mean? Like, so that you promote it, but in an efficient way, because we don't make money. Like, writers don't make money doing that. Well, some writers do. I'm sure you guys, this isn't like a money thing for you. It's a passion project. So you kind of have to temper that with real life. And now that you're back in school, I'm sure that's even harder to kind of temper it. And you are all parents. Alex, you're not, right?
Nope.
Okay.
all my kids are 30.
I'm a dog dad.
Oh, your kids are grown. So
my kid, yeah, Alex is the youngest. He's 20. He's gonna be 26.
Oh, you're so little.
I got 5 grandkids.
5 grandkids. Holy crap. I got 3 cats, and I'm like, nope, that's enough. That's enough.
I'm in the trenches right now.
Oh, how old?
She's about to be 3 months. So.
Oh my God. Yeah, congratulations on your baby.
Thank you.
That's awesome. Congratulations on your millions of grandchildren. I was just talking today because I just got a new kitten and I'm looking at her right now. She's sleeping, but she's 3 months old, and a lot of my time is just going, stop that. Leave your sister alone. Leave her alone. And I'm like, is this what toddlers are like? Like, thank God I don't have a toddler, because I would be just losing my mind all the time. But at least I would have videos to show them about history. Ooh, look at that. Brought that right back around. That's right. That's pro. That's a podcasting pro. Not really. Oh, who is this person? Oh, I'm getting emails at the same time. Very much pro. I do see, David, your hat, a Pittsburgh fan.
Oh, I wore this because I talk baseball, because there's a story behind the hat.
Okay, tell me the story.
Okay, so I have got all kids 10 and under get a free hat at Three Rivers Stadium, 1980. Right there. I've had this hat since I was in 80, I would have been 7. So yeah, so since I was 7 years old, it was
a great hat too. That's one of the great ones.
Yeah, by the Coca-Cola company sponsored it. But this has been my pirate hat ever since. Let's go Bucks. Fire the owner.
I mean, I don't want to say I agree with you, but I agree with you. Because I want them to do well. They're kind of like, to me, like what the Royals were, where they were the small market team and they had this, and then they burst out, and then they're back to small market again. And that's like, no, you want the small market. Let's be honest, guys. I'm not really cheering for anyone in the World Series right now, because no,
but that was a Kirk Gibson moment last night. Come on.
I mean, I
That
didn't
was
watch it.
awesome.
I don't want to talk about it.
Oh,
He's
you're a
a
Yankee
he's
guy?
a
Then
You a
why did I
Yankees
invite
fan?
you?
Generational Yankee
Oh,
fan.
that's
Yeah.
okay then. It's all right. I don't have
I
He's
to,
from that
almost
northeast. He's
didn't.
from that northeastern corner of Pennsylvania.
but I also do love Freddie Freeman from when he was on the Braves. So like for him, I'm happy. For Red Sox Nation, I'm happy.
I hate Freddie Freeman now. I hate his
I
I
know
guts.
hate
you
the
do.
Braves.
He's such a nice guy. And it's like, oh, now he's like your enemy forever. He's your David Ortiz now of the new since the Red Sox can't get their crap together. Now Freddie Freeman's your guy. Sorry.
I hate the Braves. I am forever emblazoned in my head. 1992, the slowest man in baseball, Sid Bream, dragging a refrigerator as he rounds third base, beating out Barry Bonds' throw and winning the National League Championship Series and sending the Pirates to 30 straight losing seasons.
See, and that's how I feel about 2003, Aaron Bleeping Boone hitting the home run over my boy Tim Wakefield. Yeah, I know you know, Eric. Yeah, I'm not even looking at you right now. I'm like, nah, whatever. And I remember because this is going to be an overshare, but I had mono and I was in college and I couldn't watch it with my friends because I was sequestered in my room. And we all had our windows open in our dorm and everybody's cheering, happy. And then the home run gets hit and it just got dead silent, like on campus. And you just hear a lot of TVs turning off, like, well, that's about it. But then we did win. I wasn't in Massachusetts for the 2004, but obviously I'm still happy. So maybe the Pirates will do it.
Maybe I don't know.
Maybe.
Alex played baseball his entire life. What's your favorite baseball memory, either your own or your?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Uh-oh.
Favorite baseball memory.
I assume you're a Pirates fan as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All
Good.
Pittsburgh. Yep. All Pittsburgh.
Oh, well, except the Steelers, but again, I'm a Patriots fan right now. I can't really talk about anything. I'm like, yeah, let me talk some mad smack about that. I was like, but I can't because the Patriots are the worst. The worst.
I don't know. There's one point in high school where I was hitting. So I went to a school called West York and then moved to Northeastern, which my dad works out in eighth grade. And so in high school at Northeastern, we were playing West York. And so I was kind of playing like against my old friends
Ooh,
from,
yeah.
and the pitcher, his name is Zach. He was like throwing up and in at me.
You're like, I'm naming names.
And I don't
Throwing,
know. Yeah, I won't name his last name,
yeah.
but
Zach, if you're listening, you know who you are.
yeah. He was throwing up and in for whatever reason. I don't know if if it was
Yeah.
unintentional or I don't know why it would be intentional, but anyway. The same at bat, I hit a bomb off of him
Nice.
to right field.
Yeah.
Um, and my best friend Devin, he was playing first base coach. And he was just he was
Yeah.
like so pumped, and it was just
That's a pretty good baseball memory.
great moment. Yeah.
One of those. Yeah. Like I think mine is when I was in T-ball and I think my memory was I had a Raphael Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle glove, and that was my favorite thing. My brother had Michelangelo, and we played, and this is Monterey, California, and it did not carry over into any sports after that, but it was T-ball. My dad was the coach, so I got to play. But we were the Red Sox, which randomly in Monterey, California. I don't really know how that happened. And I'll ask you, Eric, even though if it's going to be a Yankee memory, I'm going to roll my eyes.
You
Memory
know,
for you.
I got a couple. I mean, when you're a Yankees
You're
fan,
like
there's so many
Aaron
great
Boone.
moments to choose from. But
Not recently.
whatever.
Whatever.
I saw the last year of the old Yankee Stadium.
Ooh.
We went with my family, saw back-to-back games. That was probably my favorite. I also was able to see Roger Clemens' 300th win, 4,000 strikeout game.
Oh,
there.
that's pretty good. Yeah,
Pretty cool.
that's
Yeah,
pretty
back when we
great.
thought Roger Clemens was all natural, no
Well,
help.
sure.
I remember watching Barry Bonds in Pittsburgh.
Yeah. Well,
Basically
it
clean.
wasn't in Pittsburgh. He was okay. He wasn't
Yeah.
Barry Bonds yet, if you know.
But I also I remember going to all those games in the early '80s whenever all the drug rings going on in the Pirates clubhouse and like
Oh.
and cheering those guys on. You know about all that?
Allegedly. I don't know if I have to say
Allegedly,
that just
yeah.
in case.
Dave Parker and all those
I,
guys. Yeah.
I don't want to know. There's no sign stealing anywhere. It's fine. There's no Well, except we can all agree that the Houston Astros are the worst. So that's the
Yeah.
one we can all agree. And even though Alex Cora is my boy, and I love him, they keep talking about trading for Alex or signing Alex Bergman. And I'm like, no, Bregman, whatever his name is. I'm like, no, I don't want that boy. I don't want Jose Altuve. I don't care what they do. I don't want them. But I love Alex Cora. So there's a little cognitive dissonance there. But we do have about 5 minutes left, and I do want to get some book recommendations if you have them. And looks like David's ready.
Or Eric's gonna laugh because he knows I've been slogging through it because it's such a good book. Ron Chernow, Grant. Look at that thing. Now, how a man turned like I don't know if anybody's ever looked at any Ron Chernow's
They're
books.
all.
They're all like this. Like, how does that man do this? I have no idea.
That's the
But
next.
but they're engaging and they're
Yeah.
informative and they're just I love this book. And I think that Ulysses S. as a history teacher, I think Ulysses S. Grant as a president, I mean, as a person, is seriously underrated.
Yeah. You don't hear
And
about him.
so there's Ulysses S. Grant by Ron Chernow, and I
Nice.
highly recommend it.
Eric?
All right. So I got two. One of them Dave got me. It's called Blood and Thunder by Hampton Sides, and it's about Kit Carson. And if people don't know about Kit Carson, if you read this book, it is so cool. It'll make you want to be Kit Carson, all the crazy stuff that he does. He's really like, it's like reading about like a superhero in this book, all the craziness that he goes through. And then a baseball one I brought is Luckiest Man. It's about Lou Gehrig. And even if like you're not in the baseball, it's a story about his life. It's really an amazing book.
Oh, I like that way to tie it in. History and baseball. I like you, Eric, except for the Yankee thing. Alex, did you bring a book recommendation?
I did. Mine's a little different from those two.
Yeah.
It's I Will Teach You to Be Rich by Ramit Sethi.
Did
I
it
think
work?
that's his name. But this is a financial literacy book, basically.
Did it work? Are you rich?
And oh yeah, I'm
I guess.
rolling.
Obviously, yeah, rolling. You're doing videos for Bobblehead George. Yep, rolling.
No, but I haven't read too much of this.
Okay.
But the little that I have
will be rich.
What was that?
You will be rich.
Exactly.
When you finish it. I gotcha. I like that. That's a very diverse group of books, which I love. I do want to mention that you guys have a fundraiser coming up November 14th at the Lafayette. What's the
John Wright Restaurant in Wrightsville, Pennsylvania, right along the massive Susquehanna River. It's the theme of the evening is Lafayette, New York. Marquis de Lafayette made his triumphant return to the United States in 1824, 1825. So everybody's celebrating the 200th anniversary of that right now. And so we have a guest speaker from the American Friends of Lafayette. We have over 30 different organizations including you, thank you very much, who have donated to our silent auction. And our friend Jim, who is the executive chef at John Wright, is preparing an authentic 18th century meal for the evening. So tickets are on our website, which is bobbleheadgeorge.org. And so bobbleheadgeorge.org is where you can see our entire video library. You can learn more about me and Eric and Alex and Mike, who is not with us. And you can buy tickets for that. And if you're interested in collaborating with us, there's a form on that website for that also.
Awesome. Thank you. And yeah, I'm going to put your link below. I point like I do things like this, but in the comments and stuff like that. So people can just click it right away. And obviously I'll share away.
And if you're looking for a wedding, I'm going to plug my son.
Yeah.
AlexRaymondFilms.com. Even if you just want to see amazing video artwork, check out AlexRaymondFilms.com.
Do you travel? I'm not getting married, but do you travel?
Yep, I go anywhere.
Okay, good to know. So anybody, I'm a New Englander at heart, yep. I will vouch for him as well. You watch the videos, you're going to be like, that's amazing. So thank you again, gentlemen. I'm so excited that we got to chat. You guys were great at the Good Day PA thing when we were stuck in that green room for an hour. So I loved it. And hopefully people check you out and hopefully they'll see you at your next event.
Thank you so much for having us. It was an honor and it was a lot of fun. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Fun, right? Yeah, they are great guys. They're super nice. Check out all their videos, especially if you have school-age kids and want to get them into history. They are based out of South Central PA, which sounds funny when you say it like that, but they do travel. And also at the plug at the end, if you're looking for a wedding videographer or an event videographer, Alex is always open. So with that, it's the end of the month. It's almost Halloween. I'm not dressing up as anything other than I did dye my hair purple, so that's kind of fun. I have the New England Crime Bake coming up November 8th, 9th, and 10th. If you are a mystery author, a fan, make sure you go to crimebake.org to register. Gabino Iglesias is our guest of honor, and it's really a fun time, and I'm at the registration desk all weekend, so you can just chitty chat with me. I just love to talk anyway, so I am a yapper. What can I say? I realized I didn't say anything about sports in the beginning of this podcast because, well, like nothing's happening. I mean, the Bruins and the Celtics just started. So obviously the Bruins are going through some growing pains. They won last night in overtime, so that's good. The Celtics are 3-0 because they're a wagon and they're the best. And I've been listening to my guys on the Celtics radio network, who I love, Sean Grandy and Cedric Maxwell. I guess the whole thing, like the World Series is happening as of today, Sunday, October 27th. The Dodgers are up 2-0 on the Yankees, and as a person who hates the Yankees, that makes me happy. Hopefully that stays that way. The other thing, right after this, I'm getting ready to watch the Patriots game. So, they're not good this year, and I feel bad because I want them to be at least okay, and they're not. But that's a bummer. So, but in happier news, after the crime bake, I have nothing really happening for a couple weeks unless something. Oh no, I'm sorry, I do. November 16th, there's a new bookstore opening up in Quincy. I will be posting about that on my Facebook. They've ordered some books, and we're gonna do a little thing on their November 16th grand opening. They're super awesome people. They've been doing pop-ups at farmers markets. Helena is amazing. So I think it's the next chapter or the next page bookstore in Quincy. So take a look at that. Also, other than that, there's nothing coming up. Next year, I have a few events planned, but if you have something you want me to do, i.e. come talk to your school, talk to your senior center, talk to your library, bookstore, just let me know and I'll reach out. But before I leave this very short ending, I'm going to tell you what I am currently reading. So I still have a lot of books on the bookshelf, but I still go to the library. And as I said in the last episode, they've been doing a library book crawl. So I went to like 4 different libraries. And so I got a lot of books, but I'm reading the second book of the Variety Palace Mysteries. It's called The Innocents by Bridget Walsh. The first one was The Tumbling Girl, and it's a historical mystery, a spunky girl, a gruff detective, they fall in love but also solve crimes. So this one I literally just started this morning, so that's it's in the process. And the other book I'm reading is actually for a podcast interview next week, and it's Jenny Adams' A Deadly Endeavor. See, I don't know why it's not going the right way, but that's okay. Again, historical mystery right after World War I. So far, I'm like 2 chapters in, and it's definitely what I love. So I'm excited to keep reading this one. And that's it for right now. I do have a couple on my Kindle, but I won't bore you with the details for now. And then we'll see what else I can get at the library coming up. So until next time, happy reading and go Red Sox.